Hi, welcome to Cloud9 Yoga. I'm Claudia and it's great to have you with me today. Today we're going to have a very quick and thorough look at Warrior 3. This is open level class but aimed really at beginners or those who kind of feel, do you know what, I really want to kind of visit those basics back to what it kind of felt like when I was new. For the class I would like you to have a block and a strap. For the strap, what I'd really like you to do, if you can, is to loop it. If you don't have a strap and you're using a belt, please don't worry about it. We'll still manage without it. But if you can, if you do have a strap or just like a rope belt or something like that, maybe just do a little loop at the very end of it, just big enough for your foot to fit in. That's all you're going to need. And we're going to start today lying down on our backs. Meet me there. Keeping your props handy, allowing yourself to take space with your body. So let's take those heels a little bit further away from our hips, ground those heels, and then kind of move the hips away from the heels. So keep the heels exactly where they are, move the hips away. Now you'll find that you've shortened your torso, so let's now use the back of our head to walk the shoulders further away from the waist, really elongating the whole body. And then you can lift your head with your hands and just place it down, elongating the back of the neck as well. Nice, take your hands. I'll tell you what, let's take the hands towards the ribs and just feel the expansion with every inhale, feeling the fingertips coming further apart on the inhale and closer together on the exhale. See if you can relax your shoulders a little bit more and allow yourself to tune in to that sound of your breath, the quality of your breath. As you exhale, open your mouth, let all of the air out, feel those fingertips coming closer together. And then as you inhale, expand. This time I want you to keep that expansion in the ribs as you exhale. Try not to let the ribs come closer. Try not to let the fingers come closer together. Feel the core engaging in that way. And try that one more time. Inhale in through your nose. Inevitably, you will feel the expansion. Open your mouth. Keep those ribs really inflated. Exhale. One last time. Inhale through your nose. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders. Warrior 3, if you have done my warrior class in the past, Warrior 3 is that warrior of doing, the one that's taking the action. So it requires determination, focus, but also that kind of bravery of doing something. So let's see if we can channel it together. We're going to start straight away. Grab hold of your belt and either just put your right foot over the belt or you can hook it in that little loop that I've invited you to make earlier on. All right, when you do this, I want you to soften the right knee generously and then bring the left foot to the floor. If you are an experienced yogi and you know that having the leg long will not bother you, that's perfectly fine. So wherever you are, either foot to the floor. If you're really tight, it might help you to take that left foot slightly at an angle to the left. Wherever you are, find comfort with the left side. Ground the left side to the floor. Soften the right knee and flex the right toes towards the right knee, making it as if you're trying to hold onto the ceiling on that right foot. So it's nice and flat towards the sky. Relax your shoulders. Bring the left hand to that left front of the hip. And then a few times, elongate and rebend that right knee. And if you find that you're shaking, perhaps don't push so far, allowing yourself to acknowledge where the borders of your comforts lay. And of course, if we always stay within the comfort zone, we will never grow. However, I want you to recognize the boundaries first, so then we can actively and mindfully choose how and when and where to push. Nice. Find steadiness, whether that leg is fully straight or it's still softly bent. I'm going to keep my bend because many of you will have that bend and I don't want you to aspire to something that perhaps isn't there for you yet. So seeing it in me, flex the toes, spread the right toes nice and wide. And now see if you can elongate that left foot as far forward towards the ground as possible. And maybe you're just shimmying, shimmying, shimmying the heel. And maybe you will manage to ground that back of the leg. And if you do, what I want you to do is really press that back of the leg down. What you might need to notice that you need to do is take that right knee further away from the chest. See if you can keep maintaining that right foot towards the sky. Nice. Now from here, I want you to take a moment and notice that you are in a Warrior 3 alignment. It's just that the gravity supports your back rather than asks of you to balance on one foot. Nice. Holding onto that strap or both straps in right hand alone, let's take that right foot slightly to the right. And again, it doesn't matter how low it goes. What I want you to focus is that the left hip doesn't lift. If you need to bring that foot back down to the floor, do so, the left foot, but keep that right heel reaching towards the right and keep the right heel in line with the right hip. One more breath here. And now see if you can bring that right foot just using the muscles of the right leg alone rather than pushing and pulling on that strap. Now grab hold of the strap in the left hand, take the right hand to a T, and then elongating that left leg as much as you can, take the right foot to the left. From here, I want you to shoot through that right heel towards the left side. And one more time, I want you to keep that right heel in line with the right and left hip rather than in line with the left knee. So keep it nice and high. You can keep it softly bent, keeping the right shoulder on the ground. Maybe look to the right, maybe don't. And then gently using the muscles of that leg alone, bring that right heel up towards the sky. Soften the right knee, maybe lift the head and shoulders off of the mat and release the strap. Nice. Right foot to the floor, same thing left side. Let's bring that left foot to the strap, maybe tighten it if you've got that lip. Maybe just holding on to both ends. Reach that left heel towards the sky. A few times, soften and rebend that left knee. And if it's really difficult to have that left foot over the left hip, it might just be in here for you. That's perfectly fine. That just means we don't have that a flexion of that hip yet. We might be just here, and that's perfectly fine. I'll show you later. That Warrior 3 does not necessarily need to be in that letter T. It can be just a little across. All right. Kind of warming up through the back of the leg. Create that energy of reaching with that left heel. And then come into steadiness and do your best to support the ceiling on that left foot. Knee can be bent. Lower ribs hug in, back body presses towards the floor. Maybe shimmy that right foot towards the bottom edge of the mat. Shimmy, 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 maybe even elongate it. If you elongated it, I want you to really press it down. Flex the right toes and ground through that right leg. Right hand to the right hip, keep it there. And we're going to take the left heel towards the left side. Keep that left knee soft if you want to, and then just take it to the side. And again, allow me to remind you that it doesn't matter how low it goes. This is not a performance. This is just acknowledging where does that right hip come up before that left heel touches too far down. And if you're shaking with joy, if it's too much, back it off. If you're enjoying it, keep shaking. Relax your shoulders. Then using the muscles of the leg alone, bring that left heel towards the sky. Grab hold of the strap or both straps in your right hand. Left hand comes to a T or a cactus if you prefer. And then take that right foot towards the left foot towards the right side of the mat. My lefts and rights are strong today, aren't they? Nice. One more time, allow me to remind you to keep that foot in line with the right and left hip rather than letting it kind of come down. Really challenge yourself. Maybe don't go so far down. Just really see if you can keep that opening through that left glute. Maybe look to the left, maybe don't. And then come back up. Nice. Now from here, bring both knees into your chest, put your strap to the side. Take a moment, hug yourself in, hold on to the back of your thighs, either with just hands or forearms, and just a few times straighten and rebend your legs. You'll find that you're kind of beginning to rock a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to take 3 to 5 rock and rolls and come into seated. See if you can do this, really rounding the back, feeling one vertebrae at a time. When you come into seated, take a cross-legged seat, nice and easy. And then gently, we're just going to twist our sides to kind of get better opening around our hips. Sinking through those sit bones, lengthen through the crown of the head. Let's bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. As you inhale, lift up. As you exhale, twist. Now, as you stay here, I want you to elevate your hands, just hover. And see if you can inhale into your right side of the ribs and exhale through the left and maybe twist deeper. Come back, unravel. Take a moment in the center, maybe swap the crossing of your legs. Let's try that on the other side. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. Twist, lengthening the spine, hugging the ribs. Take a breath into your left side of the ribs and exhale through the right, twisting deeper. Lift your hands and levitate them above the ground. Come back, unravel, and meet me in all fours. What you do want is your strap and your block at the top end of the mat. So if you need to grab hold of that, do so now. Nice. As you come into all fours, take your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide, and give me a cow spine. So drop your belly. Take your belly nice and low towards the floor. Spread your sit bones. Keep your feet and knees hip distance apart. Take your chest forward. Don't forget to breathe here. Maybe wiggle a little bit, bringing the shoulder towards the hip. Take one more breath in here, broadening the collarbones. Take your gaze up, stretch the front body. As you exhale, come into an angry Halloween cat. Now for this, I like to bring my hands a little bit closer towards my knees and really, really round. Pushing the floor with my hands, relax the crown of the head towards the floor. Bring the belly button to spine. Try not to keep your elbows bent, but keep them straight and really, really push. Tailbone towards the back of the knees. One more deep inhale in here towards the back of the ribs. And then as you exhale, neutralize. Take your hands directly under the shoulders, and let's do this without breath. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Inhale into your cow. One vertebra at a time, perhaps. And exhale into your cat. One last time. Nice, come into a neutral spine. Now I would like you to bring the awareness towards your lower belly. Hug in that lower belly, bring your navel in, neutralize your back, and then tuck your right toes, keeping the toes on the mat, just lengthen that right knee. A few moments just taking the time here to kind of shimmy forward and back and forward and back. And as you have your hands on the floor, you might notice that your wrists are getting a little fatigued. A good alternative here to just take the fingertips out towards the side, and you'll find that that will be a little bit easier. Nice, and come into steadiness. Let's take that left knee slightly more to the mid of the mat, and engaging your core, hugging the lower ribs, lift that right toes as high as you can. Now when I say as high as you can, I don't want you to take it all the way up here, because what's going to happen is you're going to take it all from that lower back. So keeping the lower back tucked in, just lift your toes a little bit off the mat. If they lift in line with the right hip, that's fine. Allowing it to happen from that mid right thigh or inner right thigh. Now you're doing a warrior 3, supported warrior 3 on your left knee. Easy, right? Broaden the collarbones, think cow in your spine. And then as you exhale, bring the knee to nose, tuck it under, bring your right heel close to the booty. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round your back, right heel to your booty. Inhale, lengthen. Pressing the floor with the hands, keep the fingers grounded. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the toes down and then release your right knee down. Take your left knee back where it came from and tuck your toes under just for a moment of reset. Take a downward facing dog. Pedal your feet, wag your tail. Shift forward to plank or half plank. You can always lower the knees. Take your torso slightly forward as if you're trying to shine the heart's energy forward. Wrap your elbows so the soft of the elbows aims forward, and as you exhale, keeping the elbows close to the body, lower all the way down. For the first one, I'd like you to take a cobra. So keeping your hands directly underneath your shoulders, you squeeze your elbows towards your body, energize your legs, lift your kneecaps to engage your quads, roll your shoulders, take a cobra, inhale. Tailbone is long towards the back of the mat. So if you feel this all in your lower back, back it off a little bit. Exhale, release it down, tuck your toes under. Let's come back for that all fours. That's the one. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, hugging through your belly. One more time, radiating from that lower belly, lower back. Or tuck your toes of the left foot and a few times shimmy forward and back. Nice. Finding that energy through that left back of the leg, kind of elongating the hamstrings that we've already done earlier on while we were in completely different positions. So let's go for that kneeling warrior three. Spread your fingers, push the float away. Lift your left heel or left toes off the mat. Keeping it placing down, so don't let the left toes go to the outside. Toes are down towards the ground, hip is closed. Heel is lifted up, leg is straight. Try to think cow pose or cobra in your shoulders. Nice. And then 3 times, knee to nose. Exhale. Rounding your back, bring that left heel close to your booty. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Flex the toes. Exhale, round. Last one. Lengthen and round. Nice. Take your knee back down. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. I like to walk my hands a little bit further forward. Shake my head yes and no. Nice. Now shift forward to plank or half plank. You can always lower the knees. Take your heart forward. Wrap your elbows close to the body. Lower all the way into the floor. Take your hands behind you and interlace. Take your knuckles towards your heels as you inhale. Lift your chest up, heart up. Lift your legs up. One more time, if you feel all this in your lower back, take that tailbone towards the back of the mat. Lift your heart a little less and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Take your knuckles towards your heels. One more breath. Exhale, relax and release. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog, traveling all the way back. Now I'm going to take you through my favorite warm-up for Warrior 3, I think. It's a little dynamic, and I want you to first identify a spot in the center of the mat, or maybe even closer to your left foot, but right in the midline of the mat. Right. What I want you to do is, identifying that spot, lift your right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, step that right foot in that center of the mat. Your hands should be still placed flat on the floor. Your left toes are still in contact with the mat. Your belly is now probably in contact with the right thigh. Take your gaze forward, lift to the fingertips of both hands, and looking forward, broadening the collarbones, lift the left leg up. Keep that right knee bent. Exhale, release the left foot down where it came from. Plant your hands down. Inhale, right leg up, one-legged dog. Let's try this 2 more times. Exhale, right foot to center. Inhale, come to fingertips, look forward, lift the left leg up. Exhale, release the left foot down, plant your hands. Inhale, one-legged dog, right leg in the sky. Gaze to the back. Last one, exhale to the center. Inhale, broaden the collarbones, think cobra or locust. Lift the left heel, left toe is flexed, release. Inhale, one-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Nice. Press both hands evenly. Then release that right foot down. Just before we repeat on the other side, shift forward to plank or half plank. Release your knees if that's the case. Lower down, squeezing the elbows towards the body. Nice. Bring your hands to airplane hands, so palms face down. Inhale, reach up. Take your hands off the floor. Lift your feet, your straight knees, your torso. And then as you exhale, release your hands under the shoulders. Relax it down. Inhale to all fours. Exhale to downward facing dog. Nice, let's try this on the other side. Left leg reaches up towards the sky, identifying that spot in the center. Left foot comes to center. Place it down firmly. Lift your hands, look forward. Then lift your right leg off the mat. Keep that left knee bent. Feel those left glutes working. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, one-legged dog, left leg in the sky. Take your gaze back. Exhale, left foot to center. Inhale, broaden the collarbones, look forward, lift fingertips. Exhale, lower it down, hands down. Inhale, one-legged dog, left leg in the sky. Last one. Exhale, supported warrior three. Inhale, lift it up, toes down, core engaged. Exhale, release it down. One-legged dog, left leg in the sky. Inhale, exhale, bend the knee. Open the hip. Deep breath in, full breath out. Nice. Release that foot down. And one more time, let's take a little vinyasa with locust. So come forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. This time I want you to take your arms forward to a superhero kind of flow. As you inhale, lift your legs first. Keep them straight. Exhale, stay here. Then as you inhale, lift your arms nice and straight. Exhale, stay here. Pressing the pelvis towards the floor, neutralizing your tailbone. Nice. Exhale, hands under the shoulders, release everything down. Inhale to all fours. Exhale to downward facing dog. Fantastic. Right leg reaches up. Now step the right foot towards the top of the mat. Step the left foot to meet the right. Nice. Now grab hold of your props. I'd like you to put I'd like you to put the block on the left-hand side at the front of your mat. And I'd like you to hook your right foot in that strap. Okay? Now come into a halfway lift, holding onto the other end of the strap. Exhale, relax and bow. Come all the way up. Inhale. And exhale, hands to prayer, holding onto the strap. I'd like you to bring the strap to the right-hand side of your leggings. This is all very fancy, very fancy. All right, so let's take a little flow towards warrior three. As you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, fold forward, top of the mat. As you come to halfway lift, bring your left hand to the block and your right hand to your right hip. Lengthen your spine. Now, keeping the left foot exactly where it is, step the right foot as far back as you can. Nice. Finding this little lunge, I'd like you to tuck the left hip in towards the midline. So what tends to happen, it just goes to the left. Take that left hip towards the back. Bring your hand to the block. I'm going to bring my block slightly closer because later on I can always dance with it back. Now from here, I want you to grab hold of that strap and wrap it around as many times as you feel you've got control and tightness here. Nice. Now that you've got it, take your gaze forward, pull your shoulders away from the ears. Think cobra, think locust, just what you've done all the time on the belly. Think that in your upper body. Take your block slightly further forward. Lean forward and then take off. There's no way that you need to straighten that left knee. You don't need to. What I want you to do is with that right hand, lift that right leg slightly higher. So I like to put that right hand right to the outside of my right hip. And then I just lift. And as I lift, I think cobra and locust in my upper body. My left hand is on the block to help me balance. And if you find that this is where your leg is, nice and low, that's perfectly fine. Let it stay there. Just lift your heart a little higher. Hug in through the hips. That left hip is still pulling back, and the right hip is pulling slightly forward. Flex the right toes. One more breath in here. As you exhale, release it down. Unravel your hands. Put your belt back in your trunks. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Shake your head yes or no. If you want a child's pose, feel free to take child's pose. One more breath here. Carve along with your nose. Soften your knees. Step, walk or hop. Take your feet to the top of the mat. Come into a halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Now see if you can release your strap from the right foot and put it around the left foot. Nice. Take your block. I don't know why I've picked on this block today. All right, take your block to the right side of the mat. And as you inhale, come into a halfway lift. Tuck your strap in. As you exhale, release and bow. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Nice. Let's try this on the other side. All right. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward, engage in your core. Inhale, halfway lift, right hand to the block, left hand to the hip. Grab hold of your strap. Step that left foot back as far as it goes. Find yourself in low lunge. One more time, tuck in to that right hip, taking it all the way towards the back of the mat. Try not to let it poke to the right. Pressing that right big toe down. I'm going to bring my block slightly closer to me. I just find that easier. Wrap around my hand around the strap. Keep it tight. Nice. I'm going to take my torso and radiate it forward. Think locust. Think cobra. Think all the heart openers you can possibly think about. And now take that block slightly forward and see if you can lift off. Use your hand to support yourself. One more time, think cobra and locust. Soften that right knee, feel the right glutes working. Maybe lift that left heel higher. Lifting from that left inner thigh, just like you did in all fours. Think about that pose that you were lying down on your back and your right foot was to the sky. It's exactly what you're doing now. One more deep breath. Pressing the big toe of the right foot down. Lengthening. Finding that energy. Exhale. Help yourself release that foot. Nice. Unravel. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Nice. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. Nice. And then nice and easy. Shift forward towards plank or half plank. Exhale, lower your knees. Take your knees as wide as the mat if that feels comfortable. Take a child's pose. We only have a quick class today. So if you want to practice a little bit more Warrior 3, feel free to pause this now and just take a couple of variations of Warrior 3. Perhaps one without the strap. Perhaps one with the bend standing leg. Otherwise, stay here in child's pose and catch your breath. Find what is your mind telling you right now. Taking a different approach to a pose allows you to grow, allows you to recognize what it is that you need, what is needed. Perhaps you're discovering certain blockages. Perhaps you discovered that with that strap you had more control. Nice. Walk your hands towards your knees. Come into kneeling. After taking all these joyful back bends, let's see if we can take a baby camel. All right. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the center of the mat. I'm going to bring my right hand behind me and my left hand to my right knee. Twisting in here, I'm going to broaden the collarbones and stay nice and upright. Try not to lean to the back. Try not to round the spine. Try not to let the shoulders lift. Nice. Now see if you can plant the right hand to the floor. Take your left hand up towards the sky and lift your hips off the heels. Nice. Pushing the hips, squeeze the glutes. One more deep breath in here. And an exhale. Relax. Come back to center. Take a moment seated forward. Let's try this in the opposite direction. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Broaden the collarbones and twist. Just like you did at the beginning, breathe into your left and breathe out through your right, twisting deeper. Left hand to the floor. Right arm reaches up and your hips lift up together. Opening your heart. Find energy of excitement in here perhaps. And then as you exhale, release the hips, release the twist. Take a moment in here. If you feel like you want to take your final resting pose in Shavasana, feel free to go there now, or perhaps taking legs up the wall, supported shoulder stand, or even a shoulder stand. Wherever it is that you're working with, let's take a few moments of reflection together. Letting the breath be smooth and calm, relaxing shoulders, relaxing facial muscles. If you are lying down, let the body be heavy. Let the body feel the surrender. If you are seated down, allow yourself to feel that weight. Feel that energy of I've achieved something. I've done something for myself. Now it's time to let that energy absorb. If you have more time, take as much time as you have, letting yourself be quiet for a moment. At the end of the day, it's not often that during the day you get invitation to just lay down and do nothing. So make the most of this one. Enjoy it. I, for once, thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you've enjoyed the class, please share it. If you didn't enjoy it, please share it as well, because others might, and you never know. They might appreciate that. I most definitely enjoy your presence, your energy, you allowing me to share my practice and my thoughts with you. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.